You're bringing home your first horse. So what are the real costs of horse ownership in 2021? Lots of people are asking me that. I'm going to get into it right now, so stick around. When you bring your horse home, unless you are planning to keep your horse on your own property, if you have your own farm, the biggest ongoing cost you will have is board, hay, and feed. This is my horse, Pippa, Epiphany ZA. I bought her in 2015. We have been on the most incredible journey together. My name is Marilyn Lombardi. So let's get into the details about board, hay, and feed. So when you're boarding your horse, there are different levels of board, and you can work this out with the facility that you're planning to bring your horse to. There's full care board or full board, there's partial board, there's pasture board. So you want to check that out. Each one of them costs a different amount of money. Full board today probably would cost anywhere from $400 up to $1,200. The closer you are into metropolitan cities, the more expensive it's going to be. Full board is a setup where your horse is cared for fully. They're fed twice a day, they're turned out, they're brought back in, their stalls are cleaned, their food is maintained, everything is done for them so that if you can't come to the farm for days and days or a couple days here or there or whatever your schedule is, your horse is being cared for 100% of the time. Pasture board is the least expensive board option that you will have. It typically will run from $100 to $400 a month. Your horse won't have a stall, but they will be looked after every single day, fed, monitored. There will be eyes on your horse every single day. They feed them and make sure everybody is getting food, and there's no hierarchy which prevents one horse or another from getting food. They will put blankets on and off. They will put rain sheets on and off. So it's full care, but just without a stall. The hay and grain that your horse is fed will either be included in your board or it will be calculated separately. My farm calculates it separately. My horse is a straight Egyptian Arabian. She's not as big as some of the other warm bloods in the barn. So every horse is calculated separately because they are eating different amounts of food. My horse Pippa is getting about $120 a month in hay, which is 15 bales at $8 a piece, which is actually, I think, a pretty good price. Of course, the hay is brought in large quantities by a provider. The grain she gets is $125.50. It's a very high quality grain. It's Seminole Wellnes Dynasport. It's very helpful for horses that are in athletic programs, and she's being trained in dressage, so she is consuming those extra fat, the extra calories to help supplement her hay and help give her added nutrition for the work that she's doing. After board and hay and feed, the next most expensive item that you will have to take on is the veterinarian. You are going to want a vet. Your vet is going to be very important to you, your horse, and every step of your journey with your horse. I use a vet that the barn uses, several people do, but some people use their own vet. It doesn't really matter. Most barns are going to let you have whatever vet you want to come in. The good thing about having a vet that several people use is that you can split the call costs. Every vet is going to charge an initial cost just from coming out to the barn. The basic call cost for my vet is $60, but if there's 2 or 3 people getting something done, it will be split. So typically I try to do that. I try to just plan to coordinate with others, and usually the barn trainer, in some cases it's the manager, will help you coordinate this. Last year my vet costs were just $400 for the whole year, which was really good. My horse was not injured, she was healthy, she kept it together the whole year. I'm knocking on wood. She did a good job, and we only had to have our spring and our fall series of vaccines. This is something you're going to have to do no matter what part of the country you are in. It'll be slightly different. Here on the East Coast of the United States, we have about 6 that we give twice a year. The East-West encephalomyelitis and tetanus vaccine, West Nile vaccine, flu rhino, and once a year rabies and strangles. And then in the fall we do the same series, but we also do Coggins once a year. That is a blood draw where it's sent to a lab and it tests for the horse having equine infectious anemia, if those antibodies are present or not. It's a highly contagious disease, and there's no vaccine and no cure, although it's very rare, but we always get our horses tested once a year for that. We have a certificate, so if we go off property with our horse anywhere, to any show, to any ride, to anything, we have to bring proof of Coggins with us, that there is a negative Coggins. If you are liking this video and getting value from it, please give a thumbs up. Please subscribe to A Life with Horses so you don't miss any future videos, and feel free to leave any comments or questions below. I'm happy to look up anything for you and get you the answers that you need. Another essential health provider you will need for your horse is the farrier. Whether you have horse shoes on your horse or you just trim their hooves are like fingernails. They grow out and they need to be trimmed, and they need to be maintained about every 6 weeks. My horse has 4 shoes on. Her farrier cost is $165. It probably will run about $120 to $160 or so to have shoes on all your horse's feet. You may just have your horse trimmed and not have shoes, and that is much less expensive. That's about $20 to $50 every 6 weeks as well. But whether you're trimming or shoeing, you do need to have a farrier out for your horse on a regular rotation. It is essential for the health of your horse. There will be other costs that you will incur if you're going to be riding your horse in a sport or training your horse. You're going to need some tack, a saddle, a bit, a bridle, halter, lead rope. Some of those things I actually borrowed from my trainer, and you can probably do the same thing until you get your own and figure out exactly what you want. So don't stress over those things too much, and I can cover all of that in a future video as well. So thank you so much for being here today, and I do look forward to seeing you in the next video.